did not sell my body while I was out there. So I think it was because I was in my delusions and I didn't connect to other people, and I didn't get, maybe people are just like, stay away. She's really strange looking.
If you just joined us, you're listening to My Awesome Empire. I'm Nicholas Witt, and we're speaking with Lydia Theon War-I. Just 12 years ago, she was one of the Inland Empire's many homeless. Today, she's an accomplished poet, artist, peer support specialist, and she's helping the homeless find a way out. Lydia, how did you eventually find help for yourself?
I was in Chino. I wound up in Chino, and I was like, I'm going to wait till the Chino Library opens. I'm going to go inside the Chino Library, and I'm going to find something that's going to get me housing. That's what was in my head. So I'm sitting outside in front of the Chino Library. It's morning, and I'm just sitting there waiting for it to open, thinking, this is going to stop. That's the end. I can't do this anymore. And a Mexican gentleman rode up on a bicycle and asked me, do I need help? And I said yes. And he says, go down this street to this house with a porch on it and knock on the door, and they'll help you. And so I did. I went to the porch, I knocked on the door, and this woman opened the door. And it was a minister's wife. And I don't know what I said to her. I don't know if I was lucid or not, but she helped me. They, Isaiah's Rock is the name of the church, that small storefront church in Chino, California. They picked me up in a hotel for the night, that night. Some church members paid for me to be in a hotel for that night. And then the next day, they drove me to the Corona Circle of Hope shelter, homeless shelter. And that was the beginning of the end of my homelessness.
Did you think, should I do this or not?
Well, I thought, I'm going to get help. That's what I thought. It was a Saturday. That Sunday I went, and there was a church service, and then I was helping them in the warehouse because they were sorting food and stuff. So I was helping them, and then they helped me. And the best part was a year and a half ago, I went back. I went to Chino. I drove to Chino. I found the house, and I thanked them. And I told them, like, what happened. And I was like, you don't know what you did. You got me off the streets, because I was able to have an address. And I was at the shelter. I used them as an address. I applied for SSD, which is Social Security Disability. I applied for Section 8. And I got Social Security Disability because I had the address and because I was homeless. And I was able, with that money, I was able to get a roommate. I had 3 different roommates. I had 3 different roommates, 3 hospitalizations. Each time I was hospitalized, when I get out, I go back and they'd be like, well, you have to move. And I'm like, okay. So I would move and I get the next roommate, and then I get the next one. And then I finally got a studio apartment. I got Section 8, and then I moved into the apartment that I'm living in now. I've been living there since 2002. I'm no longer homeless. I have a diagnosis. I take medication for the diagnosis, but I'm no longer mentally ill. I am well. My mind is back. I went to school after I moved into my apartment, and I graduated from RCC with an AS degree in Human Services and an AA degree in General Ed. And I'm eventually going to go back and get my bachelor's, but that's going to take some time.
So Lydia, what it came down to is that you simply needed medication. Is that right?
Yes. I needed, yes. For the sounds to stop, for the confusion, the delusions to disappear, for them to be under control, I needed medication. Yes.
Tell us how you're helping other folks like yourself today.
Right now, I work at a homeless shelter, and I am a person that helps them deal with their life as they come in day to day. I give them a positive attitude. I give them humility. I give them respect. I give them hope by sharing my story, by saying, this is not the end. This is just now. And the people that I work for, they're going through a lot. They're going through like what I went through. And I just want them to know that this is not the end of it. This is just one side of life. This is a moment in life.
So today, things have changed considerably. You're now recognized for your poetry. Tell us about that.
I've been writing poetry ever since I was like 15. I write poetry because I can. I write poetry because I'm good at it. I write poetry because what I want to be is this spoken word artist for essentially for the Lord, because I've come recently to Jesus and I've written a book of poetry for him. It's called Awe, Love Letters to the Most High. And I have a small group ministry from my church called God Angels Equals Poets. I write poetry because it gives glory to the Most High. It gives glory to the most beautiful things that there are in the world. Hope, joy, peace.
So, you were recognized in a big way last week. Tell us about that.
I was able to go to Atlanta, Georgia, for the Act Like a Success conference that was hosted by Steve Harvey. I won 2 VIP tickets to go. So I'm like, oh my God, I won! And the conference was phenomenal. Steve Harvey was hilarious and so insightful. And it's kind of like, what does success mean to you? It's money, it's not money, it's who you are, it's what you do with your life, it's the passion, it's the joy, it's the power of being who you are and being your best self, and you don't have to change. That's what I took away from it. When he said that, you don't have to change for anybody. I paused at that moment. I stopped taking notes. I don't have to change. I don't have to be Superwoman. I don't have to be strong black woman this, strong black woman that. I can be me. And it changed my life. I want people to know that the things that happen, they're lessons. They're lessons. They're like, I was homeless so that I could learn how to love the homeless. I was mentally ill so that I could learn how to love the people that have that diagnosis. Everything happened to me with love, for love, so that I could love. That's the only reason it happened. There's no other reason for it to have happened to me.
Once again, Lydia Theon, Where I. Her latest book is called Awe, Love Letters to the Most High. Coming up, her poem for San Bernardino. This is My Awesome Empire.
Cal State San Bernardino invites you to celebrate literacy at the 5th Annual Latino Book and Family Festival on Sunday, April 30th. This free event will be held on the campus of Cal State San Bernardino from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Bring the whole family and enjoy live music and dance performances, writing workshops, educational activities for children, food vendors, and much more. For event information, please call 909-537-5104. That's 909-537-5104.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to My Awesome Empire. Each week, at this portion of the show, we feature one of our awesome local kids sharing what makes them happy. But earlier this week, one of our children and a teacher were forever silenced. So this week instead, we close with words from poet Lydia Theon, Where I.
Too soon. Is it too soon to scream, to moan, to cry out, to write a poem? Is it too soon to ask for a John Doe description instead of the full name and history of the shooter? Is it too soon to want closure? What profits the man who deems it feasible to kill and maim the children? Why are we numb? Why are we taking them with us when it's us who want to die? Us, the shooters of the world, the lost souls whose self has festered into despair and self-loathing. but it's the children who suffer. The boys and girls who are literally decimated by the news each time a man with a gun and with no compass of gratitude comes in contact with flesh and bone. Is it too soon to write a poem? Is it too soon to scream out, stop? Is it too late to ask for a reason for them to live, to breathe, to be alive with us who won't shoot? When is it okay to cry out? When do we get to scream? When do the children get to be children again? Why now? Why today? Is it too soon to write a poem?
Thank you for joining us today for My Awesome Empire, produced entirely by students at Cal State San Bernardino. Thanks to student producer co-hosts Nicholas Witt and Arnold Robles, to engineers Adrian Silva and Austin Williams.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Jeff Biggs, and the big day is finally here with the Rams and the Patriots all set for Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, which will be a record 9th Super Bowl appearance for the GOAT, Tom Brady.
I think when you've been in the position I've been in, you just count your blessings every day. And I've just been a part of so many great teams that have had the opportunity to play in this game, and it is once in a lifetime, the experience. But we've just been fortunate to play good enough in the playoffs to advance and then get to play in this game. And it's hard to believe that this is the 9th time doing this.
And for Aaron Donald and the Rams, a team that has risen to the occasion all season long, today will truly be the ultimate challenge.
I'm just excited, pumped up to be at this point, ready to play. This is what you dream about, to be on this stage. And this is the big dance, playing great football all year, but this is the last one. You got to play your best football. This is the biggest stage, the biggest stage I ever played on. So we just got to keep playing football at a high level. Don't forget what got us here. Leave everything out there one more time, one more game, opportunity to be a world champion.
The Patriots are favored by 2.5, but 8 of the last 11 underdogs have gone on to win the Lombardi Trophy. We'll see what happens tonight in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Kickoff is at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, and don't forget you can hear Super Bowl 53 live on Westwood One. Before that, Sunday in the NBA features a matinee at MSG between the Knicks and the Grizzlies. The Celtics will also host a day game, and a good one, against the Thunder. In Top 25 College Hoops, number 14 Villanova will take on Georgetown. And on the ice, a nice warm-up in our nation's capital on NBC as the Caps host the Boston Bruins. I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio, and the NBC Sports Scores app.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want Viagra at the lowest prices. Never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-357-1583 today to save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-357-1583 to take your call now. Call 800-357-1583. That's 800-357-1583. Again, 800-357-1583.
Welcome to the Tom Hartman Program. I'm live right here, Monday through Friday.
Are you ready for the #1 progressive talk show host in America?
71% of people say that the information they get from their friends and family, they take more seriously than the stuff they read in the media. Only 42% of Americans think the media is the most credible source of news. And therefore, if you're informed, if you're awake, you need to be telling your friends. You need to be talking to your friends and family.
24-time New York Times best-selling author and has nearly 6.5 million listeners nationwide.
These are crimes. These are international crimes against humanity. And I would love to see somebody held to account in this administration.
Introducing Tom Hartman on KCAA Radio, weekday afternoons starting at 2.
Hi, folks. If you're still paying for electricity every month, it means you haven't signed up for the Inland Empire's #1 money savings program offered by Horizon Solar Power. Just call to qualify your home, and Horizon will give you $100 plus pay your electric bill until 2020. It's that simple. Call, qualify, get $100, and no electric bill payments until 2020. So keep your money in your pocket and become energy independent today. Call 844-711-6996. That's 844-711-6996. Or click on one of our Stay Cool ads at KCAAradio.com.
Rent-A-Center is lowering prices like way down. Now for $19.99 per week, you can get an Xbox One or PS4. And what better way to enjoy those consoles than on an Altoro Dune sofa with a reversible chase? Again, for $19.99 per week. $19.99. Rent-A-Center has a worry-free guarantee, free same-day delivery, and competitor price matching. Rent-A-Center, located in the Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands, where the 10 and the 210 meet between the Alabama and Tennessee exits. Rent-A-Center, $19.99 per week. Sale price is valid until October 28th.
And good morning, everyone. This is Reverend Irma Forward, and we are inviting you to be with us today as we wake up your awareness. And waking up your awareness to a lot of different things that are happening today. My spiritual companion on this journey this morning is the wonderful, the inimitable Jean Kennedy, religious science practitioner. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, all right. That means that as a practitioner, she's a professional prayer. And so she prays for any and all of our needs, as do I. And we have a whole host of people who work with us in praying, and so that everyone can have their needs met and just be who you are in the grand scheme of things. For who you are children of the universe, and what you are, simply put, is an expression of the Most High God. And so we give thanks for that this morning. And I also want to thank a few people who have been with us regularly, listening to us each and every Sunday morning. And we're absolutely thankful for Jackie and John. Jackie works at Century 21 Real Estate, Town and Country over in San Bernardino. But the idea is that she listens every Sunday, and she feels that this program is supporting her in her work. And so we're absolutely grateful for that. And we're thankful for the opportunity to be with you. And we want to give a shout out this morning also to Cheryl and to Joyce and company. Okay, and so we're really excited about everyone that's tuning in and becoming a part of our program each and every Sunday. And once again, thanks to Jackie and John for their support. Actually, I have to say that Jackie is my wonderful sister-in-law, and she's just been supportive, absolutely supportive of this program. And so we give thanks for that.
And so it is.
And so it is, yes. And so it magnificently is. And so to get us started this morning, we have a Science of Mind reading that I'm asking Jean to read to you this morning as we wake you up to begin the beginning of waking you up to your spiritual self, exactly who you are. And so, Jean, if you would go ahead and read that, because today, I'm so excited. We're talking about getting to the heart of the matter, because this is the month, February. It's the month of hearts. Day. Yes, yes. And so, but there's so many things that have to do with the heart. And we'll be talking about that later on. I think I entitled today's show, The Heart of Me. But it's the heart of me, but it's also the heart of everyone, the heart of everything that surrounds us, that anchors us and gets us started. But Jean's going to read to us a Science of Mind reading by Ernest Holmes, taken from a book entitled The Spiritual Universe.
Developing confidence in ourselves, in our ability to meet and handle all undesirable situations, requires that we must have confidence in that something which is greater than we are. Then we will have spiritual self-reliance. When this is done, the lesser must always submit to the greater. Weakness will give way to strength. Despair will turn to hope. Hate will become love. Failure will become success. And sickness will dissolve into health. The action that takes place is not one of despot or overruling harshness, but one that moves in harmony, love, beauty, warmth, and order, quietly transforming all that is unlike it.
Wonderful. And again, that is from the book, The Spiritual Universe, and it's from page 51. So it is the month of February, but before we get started into our topic this morning, we've had our readings. I'm going to invite Jean to also anchor us in affirmative prayer this morning, our beginning spiritual mind treatment. And after that, we're going to have wonderful music by Aria entitled Just Do You by India Ari. Okay, but Jean, go ahead and anchor us in prayer.
Please join with me. We've come together in love, seeking the true path of our beliefs and recognize our spiritual home. We are guided by divine wisdom in our lessons today, and everyone listening will benefit and feel their magnificence with the oneness that we call God. We accept that our leaders are divinely guided by right action and work for a better world for all of us today. We know and accept that our words and thoughts have power, and we recognize that power as our God source within each one of us, and we declare these words here and now as our truth. And for this I say thank you, God, and I release these words knowing that it's done, and so it is.
And so it perfectly is. And India Ari, Just Do You.
Somebody's got to
to just be exactly who you are. And I know that something wonderful is happening today. Today's February the 3rd, 2019, and it is what, Jean?
Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday, and today it is. And so we know that each one of those players that will be out on the field will just be doing the very best that they can, because this is an important day in the world of sports. And so we're excited about that. Rick, we're glad that you're here. Rick's our engineer, but I want to find out, do you have a favorite team for today? Because we have the Patriots and the Rams that are playing.
Anybody but the Patriots.
Okay.
Uh-huh. All about, downtown and where it's at and everything.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you all of my friends, including my girlfriend Cheryl, and
Uh-huh.
my mom and my dad, and my sister and the nieces, they're all rooting for the Rams because they hate the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we all Rams fans here today? Oh, I think I need to be apolitical. Okay. So
I think we're all Rams fan for the day.
For the day?
For the day.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. But it is February, and today is the 53rd Super Bowl, so that's really exciting. But it is the month of February, and you can't walk into a store without seeing hearts, candy, and flowers everywhere. Now, your spiritual center or your church may even have some flowers, or they may have hearts on display, which is symbolic of the time that we're existing in right now, which is the month of February. Okay. And I know that this holiday, so to speak, and all of its trappings can feel really great or not so good, depending on where we are in the romance department. What we're doing each week here is taking a deep dive into the heart of a number of matters which will bring us the sweetness of hearts, flowers, and candy to each of us, regardless of our Facebook status relationship. So today we want to get into the heart of our dreams, into the heart of who we are. And this is so appropriate, because we talk about bringing our dreams into fruition here a lot at Wake Up Awareness, because we know that when we are living our dreams, that we are expressing the divine in the most human way possible. And so today we're going to talk about our dreams today, but with a slightly different twist. And I say that this blurb about today's talk. Be sure and stay with us for that twist, and you may actually receive hearts, flowers, and candy in some way or another, okay? So what that means to me is yet to be revealed, but as you see, Jean, let's imagine that we have a bunch of flowers and a basket of heart-shaped candy here. So let's see what happens. Now, you like those little heart-shaped candies, those little tiny ones?
Yeah, the ones that have all the little be mine.
Yes, be mine. They have the little words, I love you, and just all kind of little things on it. And when I was a child, it was so special to get those and to receive those from whoever gave them to us at the time. But first, let's start with a story, and this is a true story that we found in Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul, and it was on page 232 there. This was in 1959, and there was a young girl, and her name was Jean Harper, and she was in the 3rd grade. Her teacher gave the class an assignment, and the assignment was to write a report on what you want to be when you grow up. Now, I know that we've all written those kind of stories in school at one point or another, and we may even still be writing those kind of stories because we still haven't, some of us haven't figured out what we want to be yet. And so we're gonna help with that. But Jean's father was a crop duster. Now, you know what a crop duster is. They go out and spray the fields with things that keep the plants from getting fungicides and those kind of things. So anyway, he was a crop duster, and Jean was completely captivated by airplanes and flying. She poured her heart into her report and included all of her dreams. She dreamed of dusting crops like her dad did, She dreamed of making parachute jumps. She dreamed of seeding clouds, and that was something that she's seen on a TV episode of Sky King. Do you all remember Sky King and his niece and nephew? Okay. And most of all, she dreamed of becoming an airplane pilot. She wrote and wrote, filled with all the excitement and enthusiasm of a third grader with a dream. Alas, her paper came back the next day with a big red F written on it and these devastating words. Impossible. You have written a fairy tale. None of those dreams are for a girl. Now, you can imagine how crushed Jean was and how humiliated she felt receiving that kind of response from her teacher. She showed her father the paper, and he, in his infinite wisdom, said, "The teacher doesn't know what she's talking about. Look at Amelia Earhart," he said. She was an aviatrix who appeared before her time. Now, Jean, we have some quotes here from Amelia Earhart and just a brief biography of her. Would you share that with us, please?
Amelia Mary Earhart was an American aviation pioneer and author. Earhart was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Here are a few quotes from her writings. "The most effective way to do it is to do it," which I love that. Adventure is worthwhile in itself. Aviation offered such fun as crossing the continent in planes large and small, trying the whirling rotors of an autogyro, making record flights. With these activities came opportunity to know women everywhere who shared my conviction that there is so much women can do in the modern world and should be permitted to do irrespective of their sex. Everyone has oceans to fly if they have the heart to do it. Is it reckless? Maybe. But what do dreams know of boundaries? Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. Flying might not be all plain sailing, but the fun of it is worth the price.
Okay.
And the most effective way to do it is to do it.
Is to do it. Just go ahead and do it. Whatever your dream calls for you to do. And we're going to talk about the dream a little bit more in our talking this morning. We'll be talking about the dream a little more. But can you imagine how devastated that this little girl, Jean Harper, was feeling? And she had to go to someone like Amelia Earhart and read what she had written in order to regain some of her self-confidence that had been knocked down by this particular teacher. It wasn't a very pretty thing. And I know that some of us as females, as women, have had that experience, especially women of our perhaps genre, our age group. We've had people tell us that we can't do certain things just because we are women. However, we have found as the years have gone by that that is not necessarily true. And Jean was beaten down by negativity and criticism every time that she mentioned her dreams. Girls can't become airline pilots, never have, never will. And so many of us as women have heard those kind of things. They also say to you, you're not smart enough, that women do not have the intellectual capacity to do certain things. Or they will say, you're just plain crazy. Well, all of that is not true. And it's impossible, they will say to you, for you to do that. So at the ripe old age of 10 or 11, this young lady, Jean, gave up her desires, gave up on her dream. And I want to pause for a moment and simply have you reflect on whether any of this sounds familiar to you. Does it sound familiar to any of you there in our listening audience? Have you heard that? Perhaps different words, but the same meaning, the same message. In the 1930s, I am certain without a doubt that Amelia Earhart heard all of these things. Now we're going to fast forward to Jean's senior year in high school, and the English teacher gave the class an assignment to write a report. And the report was, what do you think you'll be doing 10 years from now? Now that's a big one, especially when you are a senior in high school, because you have so many dreams at that point, and you're not necessarily listening because you're busy defining yourself at that age. You're not necessarily listening to what people tell you that you can or cannot do, and certainly you think that you're immortal and you're going to live forever and you're going to be able to accomplish all of your dreams. But in any event, Jean thought about the assignment, and she thought about her old dreams. And as she sat there beginning to write the paper, she thought, pilot? No way. It will never happen. Flight attendant? Not pretty enough. Wife? Oh dear, who would want me? Waitress? And she said to herself, I could do that. Yes, that feels safe. So she wrote down waitress. The teacher collected all of the papers from all of the students, and nothing more was said. 2 weeks later, she handed back the assignments face down on each desk and asked the question, if you had unlimited finances, access to the finest schools, and limitless talents and abilities, what would you do? Write that down on the back of this paper on your desk. Not surprisingly, Jean felt a rush of old enthusiasm, and her dreams began to bubble forth, and she began to write them down. When all the students stopped writing, the teacher asked, how many of you wrote the same thing on both sides of the paper? Not one hand went up. The next thing this very wise teacher said changed the course of Jean's life. She leaned forward over her desk, looked at the students straight in the eye, one student at a time, and said, I have a little secret for all of you. You do have limitless abilities and talents. You do have access to the finest schools, and you can arrange unlimited finances if you want something bad enough. This is it. When you leave school, if you don't go for your dreams, no one will do it for you. You can have what you want if you want it enough. Now that's a very powerful statement for a teacher to make to a classroom full of students who are clearly sometimes not certain about what the future is actually going to hold for them, or even what they want to be, because they're trying to figure it out. But she said, whatever it is that you want to do, if you want it bad enough, then you are able to accomplish it, because the resources are here. The resources for you to accomplish your dreams are here. That's one of the things about that makes our nation great. Everybody can have an education if indeed you want it, if you want it bad enough. So in that moment, in the face of truth, the years of hurt and fear and discouragement crumbled for Jean. She felt exhilarated and a little bit scared. She stayed after class to thank the teacher and to tell her about her dream to become a pilot. The teacher stood up, slapped the top of her desk, and said, well, do it. Just do it. As the song said earlier, just do you. Do what it is that you have been called to do. So Jean did. And it didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took 10 years of hard work, facing opposition that ranged from quiet skepticism to downright hostility. But she did it. First, she became a private pilot. Then she got the necessary ratings to fly air freight and even commuter planes, but always as a co-pilot. They still weren't quite ready for her, okay? But her employers sometimes were openly hesitant about promoting her because what? She was a woman. But she would not stop. And she went on to accomplish every dream her third grade teacher said was a fairy tale. So for a time, she was a crop duster, just like her father. She made a few hundred parachute jumps, and I'm going to say that that was something very new for women to do, to be jumping out of a plane, you know, with a parachute attached and just knowing that you were going to be safe and okay as the parachute opened. And then she spent a summer as a weather modification pilot seeding clouds. And in 1978, she was in the first group of the first female pilot trainees ever accepted by United Airlines. Now, she was making progress here, and that is the story sometimes of what women have to do. You have to take it easy and take it slow, but the idea is to get there and to just do you and to be who you are. And so as a result of her persistence and a little bit of patience on her part, she ultimately became the captain, not the co-pilot, but the captain of a Boeing 737. It was the power of a few well-placed positive words, one spark of encouragement from a woman Jean respected, that gave the uncertain young girl the strength and faith to pursue her dreams. Jean says, I chose to believe her, and then I committed myself to the dream. Now, I'm going to repeat that, and I would like for you to take it in and absorb it, embody it. I chose to believe her, and then I committed myself to the dream. You see, when you get to the heart of your dreams, when you think about the dreams planted in the heart, whether they have been planted there since you were a young person or the most recent dream you identified, say, yesterday, first, whom have you chosen to believe? And second, what are you committed to? So I want us to explore those questions right now within the framework of an acronym for your dreams. And it is D for dream, deserving your dreams. So sometimes it is that when we dream a dream, we feel that we're dreaming outside of the scope of what we would determine as our reality. Jean, does that make sense?
It does.
It does?
Yeah.
Because we think that we can't have it. But you see, we deserve our dreams if the dream has been implanted into the consciousness, into our soul, then we deserve to experience that dream in the here and in the now. And then the next letter is R. We want to be able to reach for the dream. Not only do we deserve it, but we have to do a little activity, and that means a little bit of what? W-O-R-K.
Some work.
Some work, Jean? Okay. And that means that we have to reach for the dream. And then our level of expectancy, being the E there, what is it that we need to expect, Jean?
We want to expect the best.
We want to expect the best. And expecting the best will allow us what? To A, align with source. That is so important, to align with the presence of the Christ consciousness that is within each and every one of us as we align with Source, knowing that, as one writer, a contemporary writer today says, that God's got your back. God is the source of absolutely everything. Then when we align with that, nothing, absolutely nothing is impossible. And then we look at the M, which is to manifest your heart's desire. Now let's go back and expand on that just a little more. I know that some of us don't think that we deserve our dreams, but I'm here to tell you this morning that you do. In fact, I believe that they are the God of your being speaking to you from the inside out, urging you to express it. The God of your being. Express this God source from within you and through you, through the dream. You are expressing God, the gift, the desire that God has implanted on your heart. This is implanted on your heart, and you want to be able to express it. So think about this. When I express my dreams, I express the God of my being, and I deserve to express the God of my being. So, we'll say that one more time. When I express my dreams, I express the God of my being, and I deserve to express the God of my being. Ernest Holmes tells us on page 288 of the Science of Mind textbook, free yourself forever from the thought that God may be pleased by a life of sacrifice. We want to let that go. That the world is any better because of your misery. That's not true. Or that righteousness is more perfectly expressed through poverty than abundance. That is not true either. Life is not more expressed through poverty. You see, this is an abundant universe. The source, God, has made it possible for everything to replicate itself. And so let's talk about the fact that there are so many citrus trees right now that are showing their abundance. There are oranges. We'll take a single orange, and within that orange, there are seeds for greatness within the orange, because each seed has the capacity to become a tree. Just one seed. And there are so many seeds in one orange, and that one tree will create more oranges, and the process repeats itself, keeps repeating itself. And so this is an abundant universe. You do not have to live in poverty once you live from a point of knowing who you are, for you are a magnificent child of God. You are a child of Source. And so know that the greater abundance of every good thing which you are bringing out in your life, the more perfectly you are satisfying the divine urge within you. Anything, absolutely anything that you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake if it hurts no one and brings happiness and good into your life. Say with me what we were talking about earlier. When I express my dreams, I express the God of my being, and I deserve to express the God of my being. Now, Elizabeth Gilbert, a contemporary writer, has written a passage in her book, Big Magic, and she talks about this a little bit. It's a little song, but so very powerful, and I want to share it with you. She's speaking about having a healthy type of arrogance. And if you have read any of her book, you know that she can be a bit sassy. And this passage is no exception. And it goes like this. I believe this kind of arrogance, this simple entitled to exist and therefore express myself arrogance, is the only weapon with which to combat the nasty dialogue that may be automatically rising within your head whenever you get an artistic impulse, or shall we say here this morning, a dream. There's something that happens, and you know that nasty dialogue that I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the nasty dialogue that goes like this. Who the hell do you think you are that you are trying to be creative? You suck. You're stupid. You have no talent. You serve no purpose. Get back in your hole, to which you may have spent a lifetime obediently responding to this. And we want to stop that right now. We want to stop saying that you're right, I do suck, and I am stupid, thank you, I'll go back in my hole now. I would like to see you engaged in a more generative and interesting conversation with yourself than that. For heaven's sake, at least defend yourself. Defending yourself as a creative person begins by defining yourself. It is when you declare your intent. Stand up tall and say aloud what it is that you are or what it is that you want to be. You can say things like, I'm a writer, I'm a singer, even though you may not be able to carry a tune. That's okay. I'm an artist, even though you may not know exactly what the color scales are. You may not know that, but you are an artist. I am a photographer, or I am a chef. I'm a designer. I'm an inventor. You may even say, I don't know yet exactly what I am, but I'm curious enough to find out. I encourage you to tap into that sense of curiosity about yourself and about life itself. Speak it. Let it be known that you are here. Let it be known that you are here, because this statement of intent is just as much of an announcement to yourself as it is an announcement to the universe or anybody else. Hearing this announcement says that your soul is going to mobilize accordingly. It will mobilize ecstatically. In fact, because this is what your soul was born for. Trust me, your soul has been waiting for you to wake up to your own existence for years. But you must be the one to start the conversation, and then you must feel entitled to stay in the conversation. This proclamation of intent and entitlement is not something you can do just once and then expect miracles. It's something you must do daily, forever. In other words, people, it takes what? Practice. It takes practice. And it takes a little bit of repetitive time to be, as we say, to be with God. It takes time to be with God. So here's what I want to do, and it may be a stretch. I invite you to stand up and make a proclamation about yourself. And the proclamation says, I am. And then you want to fill in the blank for yourself. Or if you don't know, just simply say, I don't know exactly what I am, but I'm curious enough to find out. And then you want to reach for these dreams, expect the best about these dreams. And so we take right now the R, which is the reaching for the dream, and the E, which is the expectation. Remember, they stand for reach for them, to reach for the dream, and expect the best. Now, expecting the best means that the manifestation is taking place. It may not be the way that you think it should take place, but the manifestation is taking place in an unknown way, and it's going to be perfect in the end. It's going to absolutely be perfect. We have a German poet and a philosopher, Goethe. He once wrote about dreams. And this is what he says, and I'm quoting, "Are you in earnest? Then seize this very minute. What you can do or dream you can. Begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Only engage and the mind grows heated. Begin and then the work will be completed." So again, I ask you this morning, what is your dream? What are you committed to? I have a friend who's a life coach, and he pointed out the difference between a goal and a commitment. A goal sounds good, it's very lofty, but it has no teeth to it. because it isn't actionable. But a commitment, now that's actionable, and that's what leads to your dreams. If you are truly committed, you will reach for them through action, and you will keep reaching for them through more action. In other words, a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there, and we're entitling work as action this morning. So keep reaching for them with your action. Yes, Jean?
We just had to put up new posters at work.
Okay.
And so one of the posters we picked was about goals.
About goals.
About
okay.
goals.
Mm-hmm.
And what it said is that a goal is nothing more than a dream with a deadline.
Okay. Okay. Very good. A dream with a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to meet that deadline, you have to be what? Committed.
Committed.
You have
correct.
to be committed to it. And then we want to be able to expect the best until we achieve them. You won't be discouraged at one little slip or setback. You will continue to take action to move forward, expecting the best outcome. I want to show you a little example of that dream right now. And we've all seen little boys that want to ride horses, and they want to ride big horses, not little horses. And so quite often these horses themselves have seen little boys come up to them and try to get on them, and so they are aware of these little children that want to ride on them. And so the horse sometimes will stand very patiently waiting for these children to find a way to get up on the horse before it takes off with this child on it. The horse is really huge. That's a big challenge. But there's something that this horse has, and we're going to call it horse sense this morning. And the horse has a love of little boys that suggests patience with the children, okay? And so the horses generally wait very patiently until these children are able, after a bit of struggle, to mount the horse. And so we want to get on and align ourselves with the source. So notice how patiently the horses wait for the children and how he loves it once they are on him. There are metaphors for this, and it's aligning with the source. And this is such a big topic that we're going to save it for next week. So be sure to tune in next week with us, and we will totally and completely align with the source. And once again, we want to talk about manifesting our heart's desires. So for now, when you get clear about what you deserve, and that is you deserve your dreams, and you deserve to make a commitment to reach those dreams, and to expect the best from those dreams, and to align with the source, you will absolutely manifest them. And our final letter, which is the M, is the M, that is the manifestation. So when you do these things, the universe will rush in to support you. And so I invite you to feel that coming through to you, to not be hesitant when you have committed yourself. Do not draw back, and always be effective as you could be. Now, a group of us have been reviewing a book entitled It's Never Too Late to Begin Again. And so it is time, no matter how old you are, for the passion of being independent and being very true to yourself to manifest itself at all times. And so I invite you to engage the genius and the power and the magic that Goethe talks about. And did you recognize that, by the way, from the full Goethe passage that I read a few minutes ago? So good. You're paying attention. I love that. There's genius, there's boldness, there's magic in the doing. So engage your magic by booking your sailing to wherever it is that you want to go. It's a lifelong dream. And then be committed to the manifestation of that dream. And so I invite you right now to know that there is something calling you to be higher than you think that you are, to be higher, and to know that you deserve all of the dreams that you have, and that these dreams will manifest themselves. And in the meantime, Jamie Lula is going to sing to us about something calling us to manifest those dreams and to go deeper into who and what we are.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marbles. Can't steal the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. And everybody said something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside these blues. Oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Oh Lord, I give my life, I give my love to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. and I'm grateful like I've never been.
Something's calling me a little bit deeper, so I am absolutely certain that that something that's calling you to go deeper will allow you to manifest, will encourage you, will support you to manifest your dreams, whatever they may be. And Jean is going to continue to anchor us in prayer and handle our prayer requests this morning. We do have a few.
We do. So join with me now. As we know, the source of our good is that of God, that everything we have flows from that divine source and is made manifest here in each one of us, and that we are one with that source, and that there is no thought of limit or lack, because the universe is ever abundant, and everything and everybody that I speak for this morning, that everything is here now for them, everything that's needed. For Jacob, for Joe, for June and family, for Bobby, Joe, and Tom, for Luthien and Bill, for Lester and Cheryl. I know that there is divine guidance and divine wisdom guiding their paths. There's peace, love, harmony, and good health and well-being in each cell of their bodies. That all of this is divinely guided by the love of God, and that there is a commitment to dream and to exist and to experience. I know this to be the truth of perfection for each one that we speak our word for, and I say thank you, God. And I release these words knowing that it's done, and so it is.
And so it perfectly is. Thank you. And we're also going to say a prayer for our teams today, for the Patriots and for the Rams, and just knowing that the best team is going to win. And when we say the best team, everybody's good. Everybody is operating and functioning at their very best level. And so we know that what takes place here today will be good and very good. There's going to be a lot of buffets at various homes.
That there will be good fellowship for all.
Right, good fellowship. So it's just a wonderful time. We have an affirmation for you this morning, and the affirmation says, I stand in awe and wonder as I become who I am meant to be. So, Jean, would you repeat that?
I will.
Okay.
I stand in awe and wonder as I become who I am meant to be.
And I encourage all of you to become who you are meant to be. And do you have that there, Rick? Rick's our wonderful engineer, and I'm going to invite him to say the affirmation as well. Absolutely. Go ahead. Okay. Fix it. In the meantime, okay, and in the meantime, we find that his mic isn't working, but we're going to pray over that situation as well. No, it's okay. It's okay. But you know what, Rick? You are standing in awe and wonder as you become who you are meant to be. And you know what? Even though we may be what you call middle-aged and above, the idea is that we are continuing to evolve into our greater yet to be, whatever that may look like at whatever age that may look like.
Oh, that's true.
We have so much to offer. And I invite you once again, listen to our affirmation. I stand in awe and wonder as I become who I am meant to be. And then what happens as a result of that? Then we can actually fly. And we have Eddie Watkins telling us that we can fly.
Yeah, it's working now, so I will do that real quick and then play Eddie. How's about that?
How's about that? That'll work.
I stand, being an engineer helps, and God too. I stand in awe and wonder as I become who I am meant to be.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you. And as we listen to Eddie very softly in the background, and he's not one to be listened to very softly, but I will offer this closing prayer as we leave the airways this morning. And so every day from dawn to the setting of the sun, God is and always has been. This one life that is God's life is our life now. It is perfect and dwells within the being of each one of us. We affirm our gratitude for all that takes place in our lives, and we realize that we are solely connected to our higher power as God. Our lives have renewed meaning as we allow God to work through us as us. There is nothing that can bind me or enclose me in self-defeating attitudes or limiting beliefs. My mind is now clear in full acceptance of the truth of my being, and I relax in the certainty of knowing that there is no opposition to that which I present to the law of life. I now accept total freedom to follow my desires, knowing that they are nudges of spirit, letting me know how I can move into my greater good. And this day, we live in awe and wonder of the blessings bestowed upon this great nation, and we are thankful for the grace that has been bestowed upon us as emissaries of pure spirit, and that grace continues to abide in our land, a grateful nation and an always great nation. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, everyone, and be with us next week.
And join us on our Facebook page, Wake Up Awareness.
Okay.
Leave your prayer requests.
Opportunity to be a world champion.
Meanwhile, for Tom Brady, despite it being his 9th appearance in the big game, he's not taking it for granted.
I think when you've been in the position I've been in, you just count your blessings every day. And